Hello and welcome to the Inconsistency Club Podcast, a place to embrace your paradoxical, multifaceted, expressive flow and rebel against societal pressures to be consistent in an infinitely inconsistent world. My name is Jenny Giles and welcome to the show. It's too late now. You say this, but we never know.
It's just me being philosophical about it, I think.
So, I had a conversation with Hayley earlier and I was like, why are we not recording this? So here we are recording
podcast. See, podcast.
I know, well this is it. So here we are, talking about magic.
I don't know where to go with it, so I'm seeing, I know what I had in my head, so I'm just it was the magic, like I said, is ancient, so now we've lost it because of modernization all across the world, not just Western civilization, like Eastern, Japan, China, there are countries that's obviously like us, and you. There are people who still believe and even more devout Buddhist practices and whatever, all of this stuff. There's still groups all over the world. But for the majority of what you see in the world, it's all modern infrastructure, capitalism, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Right? So we've lost that magic, and I think part of that is just that as we've become more technologically advanced and more educated in science and everything, they lost the need to believe. We can do this ourselves. We can create anything we want with technology and science and stuff. So they've lost, everyone lost that,
Spark.
So let's go back to, Ragnarok we're watching.
Yeah.
That wasn't just, a religion.
No.
I can't
it's
100%.
mythology,
Yeah, but what I mean is, people believed in those gods.
Yeah.
And as far as everything I've ever seen, I could be wrong. Maybe it was the same as it is now, where some people are don't be so silly. You know what I mean? Don't be so silly. There is no gods.
Yeah.
It seems like that was life. Everyone believed.
Same with Egypt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone believed in a sun god in Egypt and a god of and Greek and Norse mythology, gods of love, gods of thunder and lightning and there was magic everywhere. And it's the thing is, it wasn't a cure-all because it was still used for war and vengeance and stuff.
Balance,
but isn't there something more beautiful about having the unknown and the unexplained and being able to believe in that? It's like when you're a kid and you believe in Father Christmas.
I still do, yeah. But yeah, exactly that. It is exactly that.
I don't.
That's fine.
I believe in the magic. I believe in the magic of it for kids and things like that. I do think it's good, but also the very cynical part of me is it was literally the modern version of Santa Claus was invented as a capitalist
100%.
stage, right? For parents to go out and buy.
I've got something somewhere that literally talks about the original depiction of where that came from, and they're hang on, it was some I think it was maybe Scandinavia or something.
I think it was some German or Austrian Santa Claus or whatever the hell.
Well,
it was,
even the idea of putting things down the chimney, it was to I don't know, I can't remember, I don't know it, but and presents, it all has been sort of moulded.
100%.
I haven't got the facts and the knowledge to pluck out to explain it fully, but
we'll look it up in the edit.
All right. Also, trigger warning for kids that don't let children listen. I always say that.
It would put a trigger warning at the start.
What's funny is I picked up this book earlier then, so it was on the shelf. I went out for book
What book is that, Jen?
Shut up.
This is I really am into this. I totally want to do it.
Okay, so the book is The History of Magic, From Alchemy to Witchcraft from the Ice Age to the Present by Chris Gosden.
I want to say it says God, or it nearly says godsend if you read.
I know. Oh, why can't we do that? In my brain, that's what it said.
Yeah.
But I picked it up and turned it over because I went out looking for Norse mythology books and didn't really find one apart from this. But then, so this one was on the shelf. And as I turned it round, it says, 3 great strands of practice and belief run through human history: science, religion, and magic.
Yeah.
And what did you just say earlier before we started? You hadn't even looked at that.
God. See, we resonate. Me and Jenny are like so in tune.
So in tune.
We so resonate. It's like I can see through her eyes without realising it.
Quite frightening, but yes.
How good. See, I know what I'm on about, and it blows my mind every time. I'm like, wow, I actually just said something of value. And
I picked it up earlier. Like, we're on the same page, you know, with
100%.
it. Yeah, it's wild. What page did I say it was? 433, didn't I? Not that we necessarily need to look at it right this second. But, look, timeline, global history of magic. Not that timelines are necessarily factual, you know, but blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ice Age, climate warms. BCC. How long is this? See, this is the bit that you're... Oh, no, look at it. This is the bit you'd understand way more than me. Oh,
I like the look of this other book, Signs and Symbols, an illustrated guide to their origins and meanings by...
You sounded so bored.
by Hamza Hand.
Is it actually...
It does say... No, that's the symbol, isn't the name on it?
It is.
So it's a collection of... I actually really loved, like...
I know, I saw it and I was like, right, that feels like it's got everything in there. And with the like oracle cards and the art I'm creating, obviously we look at symbolism a hell of a lot. And the same with reading tarot and oracle cards and all those sort of things. Like symbolism that Holly teaches is massive. And I was like, oh my God, look at that. And it's a picture book. It makes me happy.
I don't know which chapter to go to.
Just open the book and see what you land on.
The cosmos, natural world, human life, myths and religions, society and culture,
there was no
symbol systems. Okay, let's just...
What do we need to look at right now?
Oh, no, that's the middle. That just feels fake and cheap. Right, let's go for this one. Numerology. God, I couldn't have accidentally picked probably the most boring thing.
Oh, it's not.
Okay, so...
I realised that call I made earlier, you know, when I was talking, I was like, right, yeah, we are self-sabotaging. I'm going to, like, actually go and do something. Do you know what time I picked up the phone and made the call?
12:12?
No, 11:22. Which is a number for purpose and passion.
Right, so 1 is creativity and confidence. The number 1 represents a creative spirit, a strong sense of individuality and courage or determination. If blocked, the same number can symbolise addictive behaviour, aggression or a dominating force. And you said 122.
Yeah,
so 2 is cooperation and balance. This number represents an ability to adapt and to work with others. The 2 is a symbol of partnership, as well as being a skilled mediator. If blocked, the same number can represent a shy and self-conscious nature. Oh my God! So true. So true. I love it. Do you know what I also love?
Yeah.
The male and female balance.
Of life? Of everything?
Yeah, but here it was like, now these would all be men.
Oh, that's because, the Catholic Church came along and just went, hey, let's just take all the women out.
So you've got, and the thing is, it's not, I know like Ariane Prod is birth and rebirth. Rhiannon is fertility and regeneration. Mm-hmm. But you've also got Morrigan, who is war, fertility and vegetation, linked with horse symbolism, associated with a crow, as she assumed its form to foretell the outcome of battles. Mm-hmm. So, a Brigid, Celtic solar goddess and patroness of smiths. Was it Brigid, I want to say it is. Brigid's attributes include fire, with which she is depicted here. She is also linked with the healing properties of sacred springs. It's not all
it's spring. So
girly,
you celebrate Brigid at springtime, like on the equinox.
Freya, love, fertility, vegetation, war and death. Like, it's a balance. It's not like, let's just give them all the girly things.
With birth comes death. There's both. It's the same thing. It's like the caterpillar in the chrysalis. You have to completely turn to mulch, like absolutely nothing, to be reborn. Like, that's the cycle. Okay. That's the balance. That's like everything. Everything is about balance. It's that cycle. Like the whole, when you actually sort of like look at all this stuff and symbolism and spirituality and everything, it's all about spirals and circles and balancing bits and yin and yang, night and day, masculine and feminine. Like that is everything, like finding that balancing point. Yeah, it's wild.
What was it that changed in society that gave women such a weak gender role in the 19th and 20th centuries then?
As in, like, why women couldn't have their own houses or jobs.
Yeah, or vote or work, basically. Do you know what I mean?
It's all control.
But when did it... Why? When did it change?
From religion. It's... Because
I know, like, say, like, you watch, like, Braveheart or something, right?
Yeah.
Like, or something... I'm terrible with history and dates. For, like, 1400s, maybe, whatever it might have been, somewhere around then, right? 1200s to 1600s.
Whatever it is,
Like... wars and things, right, where the women would like have children and they'd stay home and they'd like, you know, they'd do cleaning and whatever, but like they seemed like strong members of the communities that they were in. Like they were respected as well, you know. I know there was still kings, men raping and all sorts of fucking horrible power play shit, but within their communities they were still, in my eyes, like respected, strong members of their community. Whereas all of a sudden it shifted and all of a sudden women were like, oh, this woman's got a new vacuum cleaner, the perfect gadget to stay at home and you know, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it must be capitalism, wasn't it? It was a power move and total control and like
not just
trying to sell women stuff while men go out and like...
But like, honestly, if you go... And again, I am not the expert on this. I am still learning this myself. And I think I was so far up the patriarchy of how I'd been brought up that I didn't even see it. Like, I always thought, oh, feminist, God, you know, can't be doing being a feminist because I love men. But what you actually think about is it's not the feminists that come out that men hate. That's not balanced either. I want the like equal bits, you know, that's my sort of thing. But basically, like, even in the Bible, like, they literally took all the women out. Like Mary Magdalene and others, there's nothing. There's no like apostles that are female.
So
like they literally took them out.
So the disciples are all the male right.
And it's not the case. It wasn't the case before that. It wasn't the case. It's been taken out, and so since then it's been portrayed that way. Whereas women have gone before that, you've got the chapel of Delphi. No, not chapels. Chapel's not the right word. Something of Delphi, where it says "Know thyself" on the when you go in. That's like the epitome of it. And women it was like the women of Delphi literally are like oracles, and they are revered like goddesses, you know, and they are literally like worshipped. But women are the bringers of life and death and creation. Like literally, we wouldn't be here without women, guys. And that is control, because if we actually are able to connect in to spirituality and ourselves, like if we are able to really know how magical we are and that we come from source and that we have all of these magical abilities and possibilities and connected to everything, like everything around us, we're just energy. If that is actually common knowledge, you're bloody puffer.
Sorry.
If that is common knowledge, then I think the powers that be, primarily men, wanted to shut that down. This is what I've learnt. Wanted to shut it down and keep it stumm and repress it. Like, hello, patriarchy then. Because that's where the fucking magic is. That's where the power is. That's where you actually go, oh, so they're not going to do what we want. Like, but we actually want to win a war, or, you know, we want to control this, or we need you to like stay in this box to build us our palaces or whatever. I don't know. But that's where it sort of comes from in any sense, and it's not just women, it's the men that would have wanted to free speak as well. Witches being fucking burnt at the stake and drowned and all the rest of it because they are healers. And a witch, or it was just a woman that could work with plant medicine. You think, oh, you've got a boil.
The thing is, that was normal at one point, though. So when did it become? Was it the Dark Ages then? Is that what they refer to as the Dark Ages, when basically like society closed down and just went, no, none of this weirdness.
Well, no, we're terrified of that. And they put the fear in. It's that the world is balanced. You're always going to have light and dark, good and bad. Like there's no There's no way you can have one without the other. Look at the yin and the yang. You can't. And in the light, there's always that little bit of dark. And in the dark, there's always that little bit of light. It's always balanced.
Yes.
And so for a long, long, long time, it's been a lot in the dark. And now the light, this is what they call an awakening, which has been happening for fucking years. But it seems to be accelerated now. And that is the awakening, is just choosing light a little bit more love, right? Like, let's not actually like drown some witches or women just for being healers or helping or birth doulas and everything. Like people that actually would help women in pregnancy if they could sort of sense or see or know or connect to nature spirits. Yeah, you'd be fucking cast out for it, even though everyone would come and see you in the night, like sleep through your door in the night and get their medicines. It's just bizarre.
That was still that fear.
No, and it's fear. Every single thing is fear and control. That's it.
She's going to get killed. I don't want to stand up for and get killed as well.
No. Yeah, and it's a real thing. Like fight or flight. Like we are humans. Yeah. We're living a human experience. We want to survive. So, yeah. Like I can guarantee you will.
Who's going to win? Like the town guards who are employed by the richest guy there, and they've all got armour and weapons.
And
the
they have
who
families
stand up
that
with
they
you and your
need
mates to say, no, you're not killing her.
I know. And they have families that they need to provide for.
Yeah,
so they're like,
exactly.
I'm just doing my job. And then it just, And this is where like the past life stuff plays in of traumas. Like I can guarantee I've been burnt at the stake before in a couple of times. I'm sure you have as well. Like you will have been a wizard or something in some lifetime. Like, just because of who you are. And actually it's like a remembering then, and that's all the lifetimes before us. And then in our lifetime as Tom and Jen, then we are at this age now, 37, 38, trying to unlearn everything that has been told to us in our societies and our systems, which is still just control and conforming. And because if you don't conform, you can't be manipulated, you can't be controlled, you can't have the wool pulled over your eyes, and that is it. That's the fear, that's the scary bit. But what I don't understand, what I cannot fathom, is that like what we're about is just love and compassion and kindness and freedom and openness. Whereas the other stuff that is trying to say that we're weird, I say we, like mostly me, weird or kooky or hugging trees and come on, that's scary, don't go near her, or she's like speaks to angels or like reads cards.
This is scary. You just screamed at a guy for accidentally pulling out of a junction for you and threatened to rip his head off.
Yeah.
That's scary, mate.
Yeah.
All right?
What energy are we coming from here, babe?
Like hugging a tree is terrifying to you.
Yeah.
You just want to kill someone for making a mistake, mate.
Because you're living in that fear paradigm and we're living in the love paradigm, and that's it. That's what's happening. And more and more of us are waking up to realise that actually the stuff we've been fed all our lifetimes and for generations before us, our parents, their parents, their parents, their parents, like we're here to fucking unlearn it. And I'm sure that they're like, my parents might have been coming in before that, like 60s and 70s, right? Like this was coming in big time then. It's been there as well. There's always going to have been a portion of the world that were this and a portion that weren't. So it's not brand new information. Like you see all this TikTok stuff now and spirituality.
You've got to be careful you avoid the cults, haven't you? That's all it is.
Basically, or toxic positivity, toxic spirituality where it's just, you're not dealing with the dark.
Like people leave one version of control behind to join a completely different version of control, and they don't even realize it's control, or don't accept that it's still control under a different
guise,
under a different leader.
And again, like with us, like I'm not trying to control you, you're not trying to control me. With our whole ethos is that like I'm gonna do me,
freedom
like
of expression,
with love.
100%. Like, and like I always say, I take what I need from it. Like,
and we don't agree at times, but that doesn't matter. No. That's part of that's the balance. That's the yin yang. That's the masculine, the feminine. That's the masculine's energy in itself, like we all have both, but the masculine energy is very analytical. It's needing to know the facts and the figures. It gets shit done. Like that's what it is. And then the feminine energy, which you have and I have, is, you know, it's more flowing, it's accepting, it's maybe nurturing and calm, but it can also be fierce and ferocious, you know, like the goddess of war, you know, all those sort of things. So yeah, so we've just got to balance it. If you are balancing your masculine and your feminine, and you're just coming from that place that is like not trying to control in a wounded masculine, and your feminine is balanced as well, and so that is open to be loving and in touch with emotions and caring for your partner and all the rest of it, and we've got no toxic shit in either side, and I can do the same, then yeah, it means that like we're living our lives and speaking to people in a really grounded, heart-centered way. And there's no wrong in that. So, yeah.
You're not pushing your own, like, agenda and stuff.
Because you have space for people. Like, that's wicked that that's your reality. Cool, because that is their reality. And that is all they see. Like, so this is my reality and that's how I see the world. And someone could sit right next to me looking at the same thing and see it completely differently. Yeah. So, yeah, it's absolutely wild. But freedom to let people do what they need to do. But in my reality, and what I need for me is going to be choosing love and balancing myself and coming from my heart every time. And as soon as I feel swayed by other people's stuff or comparing myself to anyone else or anything else, I'm like, oh, God, wait, I'm out of centre. I'm not aligned anymore. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Right. Jenny, it's been a pleasure to have you on the Hearts on Fire podcast.
What's it called?
Hearts on Fire.
I love this. What a good name. And Tom, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the Inconsistency Club podcast.
Tune in next week where me and Jen will be talking about something else, I'm sure. I hope you've enjoyed this. Stuff. If you enjoyed it, leave a comment, like, subscribe, give us a review. We're on all major streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, YouTube. And yeah, let us know what you think. But thanks for joining us this week, and we shall see you again soon. So it's bye from me.
Bye from me. You've been listening to the Inconsistency Club podcast. My name is Jenny Giles, and it's been a pleasure to have you here. If you like what you've heard, please do consider a like and subscribe, and follow along for more medicine conversations soon. Much love.